that crab, get that crab. Order in the courtroom, get that crab, get that crab, get that crab. Order in the courtroom, get that crab, get that crab, get that crab. Order in the courtroom, get that crab.
Flawless.
I don't even know what that's originally from. I don't know if Barry made that up or if that's from something.
I'm gonna assume that Barry made that up. That way we don't get busted for copyright infringement.
Shout out to Barry. Happy birthday, Barry.
Yeah, happy birthday,
even though
Barry.
it's not today anymore, but he doesn't watch the podcast, so he won't know.
Whatever.
Yeah. This is the Protagonist seat, special edition, Barry's birthday.
We're gonna just talk about Barry for an hour and a half this week.
Someone who's not associated with this podcast or anime whatsoever.
And who's probably never even watched or listened to an episode.
I am Alex.
And I am Ian.
We're here to talk about 10 shows. It's a record. It's week 3 and we haven't killed anything.
Yeah, nothing is really hateable.
Yeah, so nothing's just...
Good job.
Everything's fine.
Everything's fine.
Everything at worst is fine.
Yeah.
But speaking of things that are better than fine...
Lord Elmaloy Case Files.
Case Files.
Case Files.
The best character from Apocrypha shows up.
Yeah. Of course.
Yeah, Mordred's master.
Sora? I can never remember this dude's name.
Banter for a second. I'll look him up.
So,
immediately I'm like, hey, Banter for a second. You go silent.
I froze up. The pressure was on for a minute and I locked up like a professional wrestler looking at my opponent in the ring. Only my opponent is my rival. An unexpected change-out, last minute. I was supposed to fight the guy I was gonna guaranteed win. Odds were in my favor, but I looked in that ring, I saw my rival of 45 years, a man that we have a perfect 50-50 ratio against. I don't know if I can do it, folks. I don't know if I can do it.
Enough to have Ian waste time. His name is Sisigo Kairi?
Oh, Kairi.
Kairi.
That's what it was. It's a different Kingdom Hearts character.
Yeah, Kairi Sisigo.
It's not Sora, it's Kairi.
It's not a cool name.
No, it's actually super lame, but the character is really cool.
Yeah, he's really awesome. He's a necromancer. He uses a sawed-off shotgun to shoot ghosts.
Yeah, because he loads it with fucking rock salt magic bullets or some shit.
Yeah, everyone uses magic everything. Also,
everything is magic.
Rhaenys, Waver's not sister.
Yeah.
She ends up going to meet the brother of Kenneth's wife, who also died in the Holy Grail War.
Oh, shit.
And he explains the 2 participants from Clock Tower that are entering the Holy Grail War, which he shows a picture of 2 of them, and it's Bazette and Castor's Master from Fate's Stay Night.
Yeah.
And they only showed him originally, I think, his image in the, I think, Unlimited Blade Works adaptation.
Yeah, because I actually can't remember his name.
Yeah, but he was shown there, and he was Medea's master before she killed him off screen before the war even happened.
Yeah, and then she gets wrecked super hard almost instantly as well.
And you know who Bazette is, of course.
Of course.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Come on.
Yep.
Come on, Ian. Tell me that you read the visual novel, Ian.
Yeah.
Come on, Ian.
Bazette is, you know what? Why don't we just have them go look at the wiki? Yeah. Go look at the wiki.
She is an enforcer, which is they go around and they just capture all the people that the Clock Tower wants hunted down. And she originally went to the 5th Holy Grail War and summoned Lancer, Cuchulainn, but was betrayed by Kotomine Kire. And he stole Lancer from her.
Yep.
Yeah. So I'm teaching you that right now. I'm not teaching the audience.
No, we're teaching the audience this.
Yeah.
We're all learning together.
I gotta run a class. I'm gonna have a whole separate video series on Fate lore. I think someone already does that.
It's called Read the Wiki. and it's just a full-on in-depth discussion of all of the lore.
No, I just read the wiki. Like, it's just me reading the wiki.
Oh, here's a typo. That's supposed to be Kire and not Kiram.
Yeah, so I'm assuming it's just background for this because they do both enter the war. So
Yeah.
I'm assuming it's just, hey, the Fate Stay Night is still happening.
Yeah. Here's all the shit that's going on in the world right now. Have fun. You guys like Fate Stay Night, right? And then I'm like, yeah, I did.
So the mystery in this one though is there's this family of necromancers, and they have this workshop, and I guess everything's all fucky there, and there's lightning.
Of course it is. Because anytime any mage has a workshop and we hear about it, it's because it went fucky. So, because of course more lightning, because I guess lightning just fucks up all magic at every point. I guess. Would you care to continue?
Yeah, this dude, his father recently died. It was his workshop, and then he also got struck by lightning. A bunch of people, like 10 civilian deaths have happened because just lightning keeps striking the area. So Waver decides to go and see. And Rhaenys, on the way there, her mystic eyes start acting up because she has mystic eyes.
Because everyone has well, not everyone. A lot of people have mystic eyes.
They're not that uncommon.
Yeah.
Except, Sheikies.
Yeah. Good ones can have them, but there's a lot of like shitty and I don't want to say half eyes, but like shitty and half-assed eyes are out there.
Yeah, so they go to the place, her mystic eyes are acting up, and as soon as they get in there, turns out there's a member of the policy department waiting for them, and they think that the guy that Waver's helping murdered his father. But Waver's like, hey, none of us can leave here anyway, and because of all the lightning, so can I, solve this mystery?
Hey, I need a mystery for this episode, so can I just go solve that real quick?
And it's assumed that at first, the childhood friend of the guy, or, family friend, because she's like, you murdered your father! And he's like, oh, what happens if you get arrested? And he's like, oh, she gets the place. And he's like, well, she has motive then.
Yeah, of course. This is criminal justice 101. The dude who's constantly pointing the finger.
Yeah, why done it?
Yeah, why done it? How done it?
Yeah, so she has motive, but Waver goes around investigating. Oh, and then Rhaenys and Grey go and investigate on their own, and they find a secret crypt that goes from the house to the catacombs underneath.
Oh, shit.
And this is where Rhaenys' eyes really start acting up.
So it turns out there's some bad shit down... Okay. Turns out there's some bad shit going on down there.
They are ghosts.
Ghosts!
And it looks like they're gonna get attacked by the ghost.
Oh,
and
no.
And that's where Kyrie shows up.
Oh, no.
With his shotguns.
I don't know.
And he just shoots the ghost, and it's really badass.
Yeah, it's super cool. I can't explain it, but nothing will ever be cooler in a supernatural type mystery than a dude who just shows up with a gun and just starts blowing away incorporeal monsters.
It's like, all right, so far this is it's a detective mystery, and then there are ghosts and a guy shoots him with a gun.
Oh, Kyrie shows up. Now it's an action anime.
Yeah, but turns out he was friends with the late mage who had the workshop there, and he came to pay his respects, but I'm assuming he's there for a little more.
Yeah, because no one's ever there for the surface reason, because this is case files.
Also, this is Mage Society. Everyone's an asshole.
Yeah.
No one gives a shit about each other.
Everyone only wants their own shit.
Yeah. Although we know from Fate Apocrypha that he's a generally good guy.
He is a relatively cool mage. He's not as big of an asshole as everyone else is. I'm
spoiling another show, but it's not a very good show, so it doesn't matter. We find out his whole thing in Apocrypha is he just kind of wanted a kid to because every kid he adopted to pass on his crest always died from the transplant.
Yeah.
And Mordred kind of becomes his surrogate daughter.
Yeah, it's weird.
Yeah, it's like she was looking for a dad, he was looking for a kid, and they kind of just worked it out that way. And they both die.
Yeah, they both die. Because, you know what? No happy endings. Fuck you guys. This is fate.
But I don't think Apocrypha happens in this timeline. Because, what's-his-face is already at Clock Tower.
Oh,
the brother.
yeah.
So
it can't happen, because
Yeah.
it'd be with the Igdomillennia family.
yeah, the Yggdrasil Millennium. But yeah, so that's not happening in this timeline.
Hopefully. And you know what? I'm cool with that. I'm good with that. I think there should be more timelines in which Fate Apocrypha does not happen.
You know, there's probably a significant portion of them.
If we could retcon this timeline, I'd be pretty happy with that.
I think the only thing that matters for this one is Fate Zero and Fate Stay Night.
Yep. And I'm cool with that.
Yeah,
I
that's
like
fine
both
by
of
me.
those.
And at the... So, Rhaenys, they get rescued by him, and she needs to rest because her eyes are all like... Her eye lights on fire at some point.
Yeah, because...
Yeah. And so...
magic.
So she's resting, and then after Waver and her have to share a room together, and she like fake flirts with him. But I think she actually like, she teases him, but I think she does like him.
Yeah, I think the seeds are there at the very least.
Yeah, and then Waver kind of at the end of the episode's like, wait, it's all falling into place, but then then it ends.
What is Waver?
Oh, and did you watch after the credits?
No, not this time. I forgot.
The woman that accused the guy of murdering his father was struck by lightning, and she's dead.
Oh.
And it just ends off that. It's like, and Waver's like, there's been another murder?
Oh. Okay.
Yeah.
I guess that problem kind of solves itself.
Yeah, so it wasn't her. So that's not the who done it.
Who done it?
And we'll find out why done it next week.
Yeah. The show is cool. Especially
if you're a fan of the franchise, it's cool. If you're not, it's probably I feel like it's more for fans.
Yeah, you're not gonna get this show if you don't like Fate already. So go watch two series.
It is a hard established magic system.
Yeah.
And it doesn't really to be honest, it doesn't fully explain it in a lot of the other stuff.
No.
You need to like, I think the best that explains it is like Kara no Kyokai. I'm sure the Mahoyo novel or visual novel explains it, but good luck ever getting a translation of that.
Yeah, I think the most it ever goes into in any of the animated series is like crests, and we pass them down and we work on them real hard for a long time.
Yeah, basically mages are constantly tweaking their one thing they're good at.
Yeah.
Throughout their generations of their family.
Hey, my family's gonna be real good at zoology magic. Fuck.
That's what we're stuck with.
Dang it. Grandpa, why'd you have to pick something so boring?
To the Abandoned Sacred Beasts.
It's fine.
It's fine.
Yeah.
They face off against Behemoth, who is Artie, this guy, Artie the artist.
Yeah, he's very quiet and stoic. And he turns into a behemoth.
He turns into a big behemoth, and his whole thing is he's just traveling along. He hasn't killed anybody, but he's about to break through the Bridge of Peace.
Oh, no. I knew as soon as they were on the train and they were like, Dad, there's the Iron Bridge of Peace. I was like, yo, that bridge is fucked. Never name a bridge the Bridge of Peace or have any like specific historical relevance to it that you harp on for like 5 minutes straight if you don't want me to think that that bridge is fucked.
Yeah, so Hank realizes right away what Behemoth is trying to do, but he doesn't say it because he's walking down this path and you're like, huh? It's like, did you realize something? No, nothing.
No, don't worry about it. Shut up.
And he's instantly wounded, and they do the Gulliver's Travel thing where they like pin him down.
Yeah, I thought this one was at least a little more interesting than the other fights because it's like, hey, we can't just shoot this monster
because he regenerates and gets stronger everywhere he regenerates.
Yeah, So Hank is, because of course Hank's like, yeah, attack the back of his joints because those were protected during the war. So they do that, and then they tie him down.
And then the girl, like the sniper or rifle girl, talks to him for a little bit, and she seems to get through to him. And this is the only time she has the case of like, hey, let's not kill this one because he hasn't killed anybody.
Yeah, he has specifically not killed anybody.
But then the railroad tycoon shows up and he's like, he's gonna destroy my bridge. You should destroy this beast.
And even the government is like, well, he hasn't killed anybody, so we're not going to do
I
that.
don't care if he hasn't killed anybody. This here is my railroad.
Yeah, but just fuck off, dude.
You people are useless.
Just fuck off, dude. Just fuck off, dude. Just fuck off,
And
dude.
then they come back in the middle of the night, the railroad company, to like plant explosives under him and blow him up.
And that doesn't work. Surprise, surprise.
Now he's angry.
Yeah.
And he goes into beast mode.
I noticed that it's the eyes that change.
Yeah.
So when I saw he had like people eyes walking down the valley at first, I was like, hey, this dude's not crazy beastie mode.
Yeah, but when they do that, then they make him go into beast mode.
Yeah.
And he smashes all of them. And then he's about to reach the bridge, and they're like, shit, now we got no time. Just start blowing the explosives on him.
So they do that.
And they actually, his innards are like just hanging out after, like they blow up like underneath him, and he's just like dragging his intestines.
They blow him open.
And he's trying to like go on ahead, and the girl's on the bridge, and she's like, stop, don't destroy the bridge you tried to create.
And he doesn't have the crazy eyes anymore.
Because the last explosion goes off at the end of the canyon, and it was specifically far away from him, but it reveals the ocean.
The ocean and a sunrise.
And then he sees the ocean, and then he dies peacefully. And turns out Hank had those explosives set there specifically so he could see the ocean, because he knew that's what he wanted. He wanted to get to the ocean.
Artie always wanted to see the ocean. That's what he was always saying in the unit. He was always like, I'm sketching pictures of the ocean, Captain Hank, because I want to go see the ocean, Captain Hank.
And then at the end of the episode, the military found out where Kane Madhouse is.
And Artie would just not shut the fuck up about the ocean.
He really liked the ocean. That was his one defining character trait.
He was like, hey guys.
I'm the ocean guy.
I'm the ocean man.
Ocean man.
Take me by the hand.
Take me to the land.
And then they fucking blew him up.
Ocean man.
But then they figure out where Kane Madhouse is.
Yeah, where he like he's in like Victorian England, where two like hookers try to like solicit him.
They are not hookers.
Prostitutes.
They are ladies of the night.
Two prostitutes basically hit on him, and then he bites one's neck, and then she's like, ooh, and then after she turns into a zombie and eats the other.
Yeah, and then he walks away, and he's like, sounds fucking boring, man.
And it's like, oh, that's a little extreme.
Kane, you could have just said no. You didn't have to do that.
Yeah.
Kane. Flips chair and hat around.
And it looks like he has some lolly vampire with him too.
Oh yeah, he's got a lolly vampire, I guess, servant.
I feel like that's like ever since, like, I don't know, like in the anime medium, just those are two words that go together a lot.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, lolly vampire.
Lolly vampire. But you know what? Fuck it. It's an established thing. It's what they're going with. Whatever.
Is what it is.
It is what it is.
Fire Force.
Fire Force.
Moving on to Fire Force. It happened this week.
Is back.
It got to happen. They apparently, I saw like it was like articles saying they changed a bunch of stuff this episode. They made some adjustments because of obviously the situation.
Yeah.
I didn't notice anything till the ending.
I didn't either.
Did you watch the ED, like the ending?
Yeah.
The whole thing?
I think no, actually,
okay,
I didn't.
You didn't. So that was the only time I noticed something. Because you know how like it's like the girl and she's like the priest girl.
Oh, I know exactly what you're talking about in that scene.
She normally like takes like she's like taking a shower and then she goes into like the room and all the girls are on fire in there.
Yeah.
And they're all like flame zombies. they blocked out their faces for that. So they said, like, because I was watching it at first, I'm like, oh, something wrong. I'm like, oh no, they just blacked out everything from like the waist up.
Damn.
Which actually made it feel weirder. It feel like
that is kind of weird.
Because then it's like, oh, I know exactly why they did this, and now I'm thinking more about it.
This was the one time too where I didn't watch the ED because I like that ED.
I do
usually
too.
do watch it.
I think out of all this season, all the EDs, I like that one, and I like the Case Files one.
Yeah.
I don't like the Case Files opening. It's just it like sounds like a song that's in a Fate show.
Yeah.
There's no singing in it. It's just like sounds like what would be background music during a battle.
Yeah, it's not interesting. But the ED for that is good. The ED for both of these is good.
But yeah, that's the only thing they censor. But in this episode, the
for a second, it felt in my brain like we had just finished talking about Fire Force.
No, because I jumped right to the ending.
But we didn't banter about anything.
No, yeah. In this episode, they have the rookie training competition, and it feels kind of. At the beginning of this episode, I was kind of confused because it felt like kind of like we just jumped right into it. It was like, oh.
Yeah, we begin in media res.
Because at first it starts out with some creepy-looking dude talking about, like, I don't know, the way the world works now.
I call him Evil Spike Spiegel.
Yeah, or he just looks like... He looks like he's just on a lot of drugs.
Yeah, he's got a very strong smile.
And plastered. He's talking to creepy cigarette-smoking, like... card dealer guy.
Yeah, because bad guys all smoke cigarettes.
Yeah, and they're doing the competition, and he meets some girl there where she just has fan service powers where it just
happens.
It just happens. It's like two Love Rue levels of like.
Yeah, because he basically sees the captain that saved him from the fire when he was a kid.
Yeah, so he wants to talk to him.
So he reaches...
But the guy's just like, just not giving him any time.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't have the time. I'm busy. So he goes to walk away, and our boy just reaches forward, and this girl gets in front of him, and his hand
somehow goes under
her bra. I don't even want to call it a bra. It's more like a bikini top.
Yeah, under her bikini top, and it's just there. And then after she's like, hey, and then he tries to move his hands, and it somehow ends up on her butt.
Yeah. And then she like goes to push him away, and she just falls right into him. And it's like, guys, come on.
Yeah,
come on, guys.
So I guess their competition is they have to go and stop a fake incarnate, I think they're called.
Yeah, there's a crew member dressed as an incarnate.
So they just have to go and stop them, and then Shinra's like, hey, I have fire feet, so I can just kind of boost myself up to the top floor of this fake building.
I can fly, so I'll get there first. And he does.
But the fake worker incarnate and the workers got beat up by Evil Card Man.
Yeah, and it didn't look very hard.
And then he's just like, hey, you want to know the secret about that fire 12 years ago that killed your family?
And he's like, yes, but also stop beating up crew members. That's bad.
And he's like, they fight for a little bit, and he's like, I'll tell you a secret. Your brother is actually alive.
Sure. And he's like, yeah.
He's like, how would that be possible? He's like, maybe there's something that the Fire Force isn't telling you. And then they're fighting some more, and then King Arthur guy shows up with Catgirl.
Yeah. He cuts through walls and shit with his plasma lightsaber.
And at first they think this guy's part of the competition, and then when they realize, oh, he's not, and he's going to blow this whole place up.
They show up, and our hero is like, guys, he's not part of the competition. He's actually dangerous. And their response is, you're just telling us that because you want to beat him first. And he's like, guys, come on, seriously.
And then they realize real quick, okay, we should get out of here.
Yeah.
And then he's about to use his black powder stuff that he can make just explode. He fills the whole building with it, and they're like, shit, you know what? We'll just go use your lightsaber thing to cut through the ceiling.
And they do that, and they escape.
Yep, they blast out the ceiling,
Team Rocket's blasting off again.
And Shinra uses his fire feet to go down. The commander guy of the Catgirl squadron goes and grabs him. And he's like, "What?" And the night guy's like, "What about me?" And he looks down, and his whole crew has the tarp, and they're like, "We got you, Arthur. Show him some pride.
Show us the pride, the guts that Section 8 has."
And then he slams right in through, like, to the ground with it. I love this. That part I actually laughed because they catch him, but he still hits the ground anyway. So it's like...
It's very good. Oh, and the reason we keep calling this girl Catgirl is because her fire powers give her cat ears and 2 cat tails.
Yeah, it's weird.
It is weird, and it's goofy, but
and
whatever.
Then at the end, they're watching the fire's put out, and it's just the captain talking to Shinra, and he's like, "Is the Fire Force actually good?" And the captain's like, "Well, I like to think what we do is good, but there's a bunch of branches and a bunch of bureaucracy that's all involved with it that kind of fucks everything up."
Yeah, there's a lot of groups with a lot of interests in the Fire Force.
And he's like, "Our goal as Squad 8 is to watch the other, 7 squads."
And you know what, Shinra? I like you, kid, and I'm glad I picked you up.
Because we find out, actually, when the villains are talking at the beginning, the captain was, he got fired twice.
The captain received 2 medals.
2 honors and 2, dissertations or whatever.
Yeah, he had his honors stripped away from him twice because he chose to prioritize saving people.
Yeah, so he's basically the model, captain.
Yeah. And that's that.
And I guarantee Eye Patch Guy, who is the commander of the first squad, something's probably up with him.
Yeah, everyone knows he's hiding something.
Yeah.
I really like the fighting in this show because it feels very fluid and it's very easy to tell what's going on.
I hate the opening, though. Just I have no idea what the fuck is going on in the opening.
The opening is crazy, just explosions and fire and bullshit. But the rest of the show,
actual fighting is because when he is, it's not like a lot of cuts. It's very fluid, his kicks and when he's spinning around.
It reminds me a little bit of fights in Cowboy Bebop, how there's a lot of steady long shots in fights.
Yeah. Which
I like. I like that. And I like how Shinra uses his feet to propel himself to make his kicks do all kinds of cool shit.
Yeah. I was worried too. I'm like, because I didn't enjoy the first half of the episode because I felt like I didn't know what was going on.
Yeah.
But then after I was like, you know what? It's good.
Once it got back to our boys, I liked it a lot more.
Yeah. And yeah, that was Fire Force for this week.
Yeah.
And speaking of our boys, Dr. Stone.
Dr. Stone. Our boys.
So they successfully make gunpowder.
This basically they have all the ingredients they need because of course the smartest boy in the universe grabbed everything beforehand.
And he actually gives the ingredients on how to make gunpowder, and then he explains to the audience that they should not be making gunpowder.
Yeah, he gives the legit-ass gunpowder recipe.
Which I think is technically fine, because I think gunpowder's so old that the recipe is just common knowledge you can find anywhere. Yeah. It's not like, making, other sorts of, explosives.
It's not like making fucking napalm.
Yeah.
Or actually, he makes thermite at one point, but that's a flashback.
Yeah, so they end up accidentally, while they're packing it together, they end up lighting it off.
I thought it was kind of funny because at first Big Oaf picks up a big rock and he's like, "I'll crunch it down. I'll pack it down with this."
Yeah.
And the girl's like, "No, but won't that cause a spark?" And the smartest boy is like, "Actually, stone on stone won't cause a spark. That uses iron. It's like iron niter or something from caves, volcanoes, and hot springs."
And he's like, "Oh, wait.
Hot springs?"
Oh, and the girl's name I think is Yuzuriha. Yuzuriha. There's a part I really liked where they're both sitting in the hot springs together.
Yes.
And she was it's just Big Oaf and her, and they have like a divider in between them. So like,
Because he is a man of honor.
yeah, and he basically says, hey, she's like, what was that? He's like, that thing I was going to tell you back then. He's like, I wouldn't feel right telling you right now because you literally have nowhere else to turn, so it's kind of like unfair of me to like put you in that position.
Yeah.
So I am going to tell you once society's rebuilt, which I thought was a pretty like, that's a noble thing to do.
Yeah, that's a good guy move on his part.
Because she can't say no. They're the
last 3. Well, as far as they know, they're the last 4 people.
Yeah.
Ever.
Yeah. So he basically is like, I'm not gonna put you in that position. So I'm gonna wait on that. And she kind of he's like, but you obviously don't know what I'm talking about. But she knows.
She totally knows what he's talking about.
And she respects that move he made.
Yeah, because that's a cool move. You did a good move, bruh.
Yeah. And then after they light off the gunpowder, they see a smoke signal in response. And then they think, oh, there are other people out there. And Senku gets a plan, but he doesn't fully explain it yet because we don't know the specifics of it.
Yeah, he has a little internal turmoil.
Because he knows, that the strong guy, crazy strong guy, is going to see the smoke signal.
Yeah.
But he also is still going with his gamble.
So he decides to light more fire.
And this whole episode made me actually really like Yuzuiha.
Yeah.
Because I was originally like, oh, she's just going to be the female character that's like, oh, I'm just there. But she gets taken hostage by the guy. And he's like,
naturally he sees the smoke signal and shows up.
Because he's like, Senku, I'll kill this woman. And Senku's trying to play it off like, you think I care about what happens to her? I'm just a man of science. I'm logical. I'm rational. And he goes and like cuts her hair, but he makes it look like he cut her neck real quick.
Yeah, he cuts all of her hair off lightning fast in one stroke.
And instead of like freaking out and stuff, she actually is like, thanks. It was getting really hard to wash my hair with like, in this stone world.
Yeah.
And then he's like, Senku. He's like, that's the difference between you and me. You have friends. That's your weakness. I don't have anyone I could consider a friend. That's why I'll beat you.
So either give me the miracle fluid recipe or I will kill this girl.
And she ends up like trying to say, she's like, Senku. She's like, don't give it to him.
Yeah, she actually holds the spear to her own throat.
She even says she's okay with dying. And I'm like, man, what a cool character.
Yeah, because as long as Senku doesn't give up the miracle fluid...
he can't kill Senku.
Yeah. But Senku gives it up.
Yeah, he gives it up to him, and he's like, I no longer have any reason to let you live. And he's like, Senku, will you give up science? I know you won't break your promise. Will you give up science and not try to rebuild society?
This was a scene that I really enjoyed a lot. There was a lot of good character stuff this episode.
Yeah, because we actually get to see why Senku is so obsessed with science. It's not just like, oh, I'm a science guy. I'm built like that. That's my character trait. We see, like, he spent all his childhood studying at it. His dad actually wanted him to, like, knew he wanted to be good at it. So his dad, like, you see there's a scene his dad sells his car just so he can buy Senku the science equipment he needs.
Yeah, and all because Senku is like, I'm going to go to space, but I don't know how to do that yet because I'm just a dumb kid. So I'm going to study. And that's what he does.
Yeah.
And he actually builds a bunch of rockets throughout his life. And it basically just shows the progression of his life and his love for science.
And he becomes friends with Big Oaf and Yuzuriha, and they all put 3 little spacemen, like, toys of themselves inside the ship and send it into space. And they're like, did it make it? He's like, no, it blew up in the atmosphere. But look, and it's like the 3 little, like, action figures of them made it to space.
Yeah.
So he wants to do it with his friends.
Yep.
And then after he...
Smash cut.
And he thinks about all of that, and he says to the strongest man, he's like, absolutely not. And he's like, I figured you'd say that. And he's like, come on, you would have killed me anyway just to be safe down the line at some point. And he's like, probably.
There's a lot of, with strongest guy in this episode, there's a lot of like, if you just abandon science, I won't have to kill you. Like, come come on, man, just stop.
Because he was even saying, he's like, I don't want to kill you.
Yeah.
Even as he's about to, and he's like, Senku's like, yeah, he's like, you would have killed me anyway. And he's like, probably. And he's like, if you're going to do it, just make it, like, don't make me bleed out. That's illogical for both of us. And he's like, I'll do it in one fell swoop. You won't even feel anything.
And he looks at Senku and he says, you know, if we had met 3,700 years ago, you probably would have been my first friend.
And Senku, like, he doesn't even give him a smart remark at that. It's almost like he's like, yeah, we probably could have been.
Yeah.
And then Big Oaf shows up last second, and it looks like he kills Senku.
Looks like Senku is a goner.
But I don't think that happens.
I don't think so either.
Yeah, I think he's planned around this.
I'm pretty sure he's probably planned around it.
Yeah. So that's how that goes.
This is another show that I like the ED of. Because it's got rap in it. And I like Japanese rap. I have a soft spot for
I like
it.
the opening of it, too.
Yeah. Ohio! Yeah, I like this show. This show's cool.
I like most of this list. It's a good season.
We have a good season, and it's weird. It's weird.
Machikaido Mozuku, speaking of good season.
Yeah, this show's real good.
We learn about laundry.
Yeah.
Laundry this week.
There's a lot of laundry shit.
I really liked so it opens with Shamiko being awakened by her being visited in a dream by her ancestor.
And it turns out that the reason it took so long was because Shamiko has shitty spiritual reception.
Yeah, she basically used the way to explain it. She's like, it's like I only have one bar.
But as long as you keep an antenna and the idol next to your bed, I can probably reach you in your sleep. And basically, she just berates her for being a fuck up.
Yeah, and so she explains too, she's like, whoa, she's like, you're my ancestor, but you're blonde. And she's just like, oh, we've come from a long line of demons. We've spread across multiple continents. And she's like, wow, so out of all those many years that we've been around, have we ever won against the magic girls?
Hey, it took me all morning to hang up these decorations.
And so, yeah, she tries to dodge the question. And then after she mentions, like, later on, she's like, yeah, I have the power to enter the dreams of enemies or enter people's dreams. And she's like, wow, we use that power to, like, defeat our enemies? So, you know, this soda I'm drinking, it's actually really good. I can see, like, why people would get addicted to this.
She's evading the questions. And there's, like, little bits where she's like, no, we need to talk more so I can tell you about your father and all that good stuff. And meanwhile, Shamiko's mother is like, I'm making pancakes.
And she's like, go. I know the power of pancakes.
The power of pancakes is very strong. And then those are disappointing pancakes, but we'll get to those in a second.
Yeah.
Basically, Shamiko blitzes downstairs to try and write everything down. And then her mom hits her with the longest, most advanced grocery list ever. And she doesn't get it.
And she's like, oh, I forgot.
Oops.
I forgot that dream. It must have been pretty important.
Oh, well. But hey, pancakes.
And then they're, like, made from, like, rice.
They're made from leftover rice and tofu.
Yeah.
The grossest pancakes I could imagine.
And then she goes, and then she's practicing doing her laundry, and she messes up her uniform.
Yeah, she doesn't wash her wool uniform correctly.
So it shrinks, and she has to go to school in her gym uniform. But then Momoko shows up.
At the window.
Yeah, at the window. And it's not really, like, super addressed. She's just like, hey, you can borrow mine.
And then even Shamiko is like, I have so many questions about this scenario right now.
And then she borrows Momoko's uniform, which is way too long for her.
Of course, because Shamiko is very short. She is small. And, you know, they do some friend stuff. Momoko tailors the uniform to her. And Shamiko is actually like, I will wash it and return it to you as soon as my uniform comes in. And Momo's like, well, actually, I usually just bring it to the cleaners. But, like, if you want to wash it, that's fine.
And then after seeing that, because Shamiko's sister's trying to, like, help her, like, becoming a tactician.
She wants to be the best tactician.
And she's like, She's like, One-chan, you gotta learn to use projectiles. And she's like, projectiles? Yeah, that's what I'll do. And then Momoko is just like, yeah, I'll actually help train you. And she's like, wait, she's like making like a rubber band gun or something. And she's like, no, that's not right. And she's like, wait, you shouldn't even be able to see it. She's like, well, I'm the person it's going to be used on, so I think I should have like a say in it. Also, I think I can actually add some good advice to help make it the better weapon.
Exactly. And so Momoko is basically like, listen, rubber bands ain't going to get you shit. So we got to try and focus you onto some kind of...
She's like, you're a demon. You should be able to use magic.
Yeah. Now, you're not going to use it off the bat, so normally I'd give you a wand, but I don't want to break a branch off a tree. That seems very wasteful. So here, you can use my magical girl wand. So she does.
And they spend all day just having her shout phrases just to try to see if they can get her to use magic.
And eventually they hit on one.
Yeah.
I wish everyone could just be friends.
And it's the tiniest, most pathetic blast of magic that actually, she's like, hey, it's coming back. And they're like, yeah, it wasn't that strong, so it's probably trying to get back to your body. And she's like, will it hurt?
Yeah, it'll feel like an intramuscular shot. And so instead of just owning up to it, Shamiko is like, okay. And she grabs her bag and starts running home.
And she's like, I'll run with you. And she's like, why?
Momoko just likes running. She's a fitness buff. You should know this. You should know this, Shami.
And that's what happens in that show this week.
Yeah.
Simple episode. It was fun.
It's fun, and it's comfy, and it's got good comedic timing.
Another simple episode this week. Mao-sama.
Yeah.
He fights some dogs.
He fights some sand dogs.
Yeah, so he's traveling.
You could say they were hot dogs.
Yeah.
Yes. Yes.
And he beats the shit out of him because, of course, he's overpowered.
He's the main character in an isekai, so yeah.
Oh, and the two characters that show up were actually the ones hunting him. It was like some like
big titty great swords woman
and then
a
trap who just spoke with like just lewd speech.
Literally always.
Yeah, constantly.
And I like it because they put, for his sex, they actually wrote down girlish boy.
Yeah. And after he beats them, he gets enough skill points to summon one of his followers from the other game.
So he summons a crazy doctor.
Yeah, because he notices Aku's leg is still messed up, so he's like, I should summon a doctor.
Yeah, I gotta fix that. So basically, the woman he summons is just...
She's a crazy doctor from his, like, edgy city game where she's a sadist who likes experimenting on people.
And she also has a thing for little boys.
Yeah, she's a Shotokan for some reason.
That did feel very random and just kind of tacked on there at the end. It almost felt like that was a little bit of improv, and then they were just like, fuck it, we're just going with it. That's the character now.
Yeah. So she fixes Aku's leg, and her ability, she can like transform her fingers on her hand into a bunch of different medical utensils.
Because of course, even her medical
powers... it's called Hand of God.
Yeah, it is. And of course, even her medical powers need to be as creepy as possible.
Yeah.
And basically, she just injects her leg and then brushes it with some stuff.
And then she starts being all creepy, asking Aku if she can dress her like a boy.
Yeah, do you want to dress up like a boy later? And Mao's like, all right, that's enough. I'm shutting this one down.
But yeah, he talks with his new assistant, his assistant about... at first he's like, hell man, I'm the creator of this character, and she's talking to me like, it's so weird to see your own creation come to life.
Yeah. Oh, man.
And then after, he decides, like, all right, we're going to need to get more information. So no killing people until we got information. She's like, okay, that's fair. He's like, we got to upgrade the base, too.
And he also acknowledges, this person is smarter than I am.
So I have to be really careful.
Yeah, I need to be Keep it on the DL.
But after we see he probably doesn't have to because he basically praises her, and then that gets her heart going all doki doki for him.
Yeah.
She's like, what's this feeling? It's as if my very creator acknowledged my existence.
Yeah, it's pretty good.
And then he walks around with Aku, and she's running around all excited because her leg's better, and it's a nice scene.
Yeah, it's very pleasant. It's pleasant without being weird.
Yeah.
Because he's just doing a good thing.
I mean, she indicates that she has a crush on him, but it doesn't really matter because he doesn't, think anything of it. He's the grown man.
Yeah, he is a literal grown man who is acting like a grown man. So, cool.
I do like about this show where he doesn't, because he's a grown man, instead of, where the, he doesn't, fall into the tropes of, what?
Yeah.
Because the part where, he has the priest girl change into a different outfit, and then after she's like, aren't you gonna say anything? And he's like, oh yeah, it looks nice.
Yeah.
And he's like, yeah, I probably can't get away with playing the oblivious character.
Yeah, and I like that.
Yeah,
I like Mao-sama as an isekai protagonist because he seems to be down with all the tropes and shit.
Yeah,
So
he knows
gets
what's
it.
going on.
He knows what's up.
From commonplace to world's strongest.
Hey, did you know this show is edgy garbage, but it also has real bad CG?
Bad CG.
Bad.
Okay, so what attacked him at the end of the last episode was a giant bad CG scorpion.
Yeah.
A giant terrible CG scorpion.
It's it's hard to tell what
it's like it crawled right out of the Berserk show.
Yeah, it's bad. It's it's F tier. It's probably some of the worst CG I've ever seen.
Yeah, but he has a fight with it, and Yui, the vampire girl, can use magic after drinking his blood, which does damage to it because the bullets aren't going through its shell.
Yeah, so basically she scorches its shell to weaken it. And she drinks his blood, and she's like, "You're yummy."
Yeah. And then he eats it, and they get stronger, and they continue going.
Yep.
And then they get to an area where there's a bunch of plant monsters, and yeah, the plants take over things, and they end up taking over Yui.
Yep.
And she...
Because there's a big titty plant monster.
Yeah.
That's a fun phrase I never thought I'd get to say.
Big titty plant monster.
There's
What? I say it weekly.
There's a...
It's not part of your common vocabulary?
No. Big titty plant monster is not part of my vocab.
Yeah, no. It basically forces Yui to attack him, and then Yui at one point is like, just do it, just shoot. And he's like, oh, really? Okay. And he shoots the flower thing that's growing out of her head, and then immediately it flies behind him and hits the monster.
Oh yeah, and also the flowers don't grow on him.
Yeah, because he's resistant or whatever. I don't know, because he ate everything.
Yeah, which makes no sense. Yeah, I don't get it because it took over other monsters on that floor.
But it can't take over him because, I don't know, beast blood or whatever, maybe.
I don't know. It just, whatever. He's the protagonist. It doesn't affect him. He shoots it.
Yeah, and then they reach the final floor, and that's where it ends.
Yep, there's a cool looking door.
Oh, and when they're hanging out in there, she starts getting all she's getting really into his blood.
She's getting real lewd about it.
She takes a lot of snacks from him, they're just walking. And she's just taking little bites here and there. I
do like how he's like, "All right, you gotta stop. You gotta stop that now, because I can't.
Yeah, I would specifically. I'm like, hey, we're in a situation where we're running from stuff. I kind of need the blood to kind of be flowing.
Yeah, I need as much of my blood as I can. So stop.
Yeah.
Show's edgy garbage, but it's not edgy garbage. If it's for my daughter, I would even defeat a demon lord. It is a long title, and long titles are hard. I lose interest about halfway through.
Light novels are notorious for long titles.
Yeah.
It is fine this week. Actually, the best part of this week, we get to see Dale be cool.
Yeah.
So Latina goes to school, and there's a crazy woman as her teacher. Like,
Yeah.
full on crazy.
She has the crazy eyes before she loses it. And even the students are like, yo, this lady, something's up with this lady because she is on edge. She's
Yeah.
like firing on all cylinders.
And she notices Latina is a devil, and she picks her up and starts, like, by the horns and starts freaking out and just be like, they're evil. They're, like, infiltrating our society.
She's evil and worthless, and she's gonna kill us all, which
Also-
is scarring to a child.
Yeah, and then also, like, you're like, they live, like, twice our lifespan, and then she found that out, and she was like, I'm gonna live longer than all of my friends and family.
Oh,
And so then she is super scarred. Like, she has, like, the 1,000-yard stare, and she gets back from school, and Kenneth's like, hey, how was school? Fine.
hey there, kiddo, how was school? And just looks up and flashes back to just the crazy eyes on this woman. Because she is fucking crazy.
And then she ends up breaking off her own horn because she hates being a devil.
And, of course, this is the day after Dale taught her a little bit of offensive magic.
Yeah, so she uses it to cut off her own horn.
And shit goes a little crazy.
Yeah, because
for a
then she
little bit.
needs to go to the hospital because she, like, is bleeding.
Does anyone know healing magic? And a guy who's not Jill Vester, my favorite hero, steps forward and stops the bleeding. And then they take her to the hospital. And then Dale shows up.
And then Dale finds out about what happened at school.
And Dale is not very happy.
And instead of, like, being like, he goes there and I guess Dale is Dale is a pretty important person, I guess.
Dale is real important for an adventurer who lives above a bar. He knows
Yeah.
he knows a duke's son and regularly goes on missions with him. He pulls hard leverage on this school.
Yeah, so he basically shows up with the school and he's just like, so I think you know why I'm here. And I'm not very happy.
I'm not a happy camper.
So your teacher was out there preaching human supremacy. It's a pretty common thing around here. But
Still not okay.
this is a traveler's town. This has a lot of non-humans here. And you know what? I think shouting at a child that they're a monster and evil might be a little bit of a problem.
That's not acceptable.
So I could, take this to the heads of your whole organization.
Or if I really wanted, I'm doing you guys a courtesy, because I could take this to the Temple of the War God, and
Yeah.
they handled their justice a little more mercilessly.
And everyone here basically would be implicated because all the teachers for, like, allowing this to happen would be in trouble. So
And
Yeah.
I actually heard that she pulled this again. You might not know that I have my data network,
yeah, he's like, you might not know that I know, like, information brokers.
but I looked into her and she did this again before she was moved here. So that one's on you guys.
And they basically, like, the headmistress of the school is like, yeah, don't worry, we're gonna fire her.
She's gone, done, whatever you say, Dale.
And then she gets fired.
And then she gets fired. She gets fucking canned. Oh,
And all's well that ends well.
yep.
Bad, crazy lady lost her job.
They
And-
get an actual teacher. And then Dale and Latina get to have a talk about,
Dale's like, you know what? I'm older anyway, so I would, even if you were a human, I'd die before you regardless.
plus I'm an adventurer, so there's a
Which
chance
I
could...
don't really feel like is like a encouraging thing to a child to be like, plus Daddy has a dangerous job, so I could die anytime.
Yeah, I could just leave and never come back
Yeah.
at any given day.
You know how I leave like every week? I could just not come back one of those times. So don't you
Yeah.
feel better now?
So everything's fine. And then Latina is surprisingly fine with this.
Yeah, it's a weird. Because I'm like, why would you tell a kid that, like, yeah, I have a dangerous job and could die at any time?
Yeah, I would.
The longer lifespan one would have made sense, where it's like, hey, even if you were human, I would die first anyway because I'm older.
Exactly, but not. Hey, I might just leave at the end of the week and never come back, but everything's fine.
Yeah.
That one's a little off.
But yeah.
It's like I hate Dale when he's extra, but Dale can be cool sometimes.
Sometimes.
Give us cool Dale and take away extra Dale.
Give us PTA meeting Dale.
Yeah, the scariest PTA meeting you've ever been to.
Are you lost?
No. I'm in your basement.
Now, do you remember what happened this week?
I do actually, because
Yeah.
I watched it yesterday.
I watched it earlier in the week, but I remember this is the episode where they build traps.
Yeah. They're the trappers. They're building the traps to catch animals.
Yeah, so the first thing they catch, Tomboy girl catches a frog.
Yeah.
And she doesn't really want to eat the frog.
Frogs are gross, and
Apparently you can only really eat their legs.
yeah, because it's got a poison gland behind its ears. So she's like, hey, don't rub that on your eyes,
Yeah.
or else you will die.
But she feels bad and she like lets it go. They're like, hey, where's the frog? Oh no, it got away.
It escaped. There's nothing I could do.
Then they find a rabbit burrow and they decide to catch rabbits. And apparently Glasses Girl is real into rabbits.
She just loves She's very into it.
And they have a running joke where they have Tomboy test the traps, and every time it catches her, I guess she has like rabbit like bunnies on her underwear.
We are greeted by a gratuitous upskirt shot, which I don't even think is up at this point.
And then you hear like in like a high voice, like every time it happens, like Usagi.
Yeah, Usagi.
Or you see like the bunny.
Yeah.
And they all set traps for, like, the savant girl teaches them how to set traps.
She teaches them all about the types of traps, and she drops a little gem that's dropped in the background, which had me thinking for a second. The first trap she ever used to catch and kill an animal was a deadfall trap, and she used it to catch a bear.
I knew she said that. I didn't know she said bear.
Yeah, she's like, yeah, and the first animal I caught was a bear, and then it like cuts off. I had to rewind because I was like, hold on. I couldn't have read that right. There's gotta be something off. Nope, she killed a bear with a deadfall trap on her first try.
I believe that, though, because she's hardcore. Her dad's hardcore.
Yeah, I also love anytime her dad is explaining something, it's real good. Because he shows up in like a little instructory sequence to explain the different types of traps.
But yeah, so they all start making the traps to catch rabbits.
Snares.
Yes, they decide to go with snares.
And they actually split up. So Jeepers Creepers. So Glasses Girl and Athletic Girl go on their own to set up snare traps. And they actually find a burrow, but there's not a good branch to set it up with.
Yeah, so they actually, Glasses Girl comes up with using a log as weight for leverage.
But naturally, they gotta test it. And who else is gonna test it?
Usagi!
That's right. Athletic Girl is gonna give us yet another gratuitous upskirt shot. Of which there are kind of a lot in this show. Kind of a lot of fan servicey stuff.
A lot of fan service.
But it's still funny. I'm conflicted about this show because I don't want to be seen as like going there for the...
No, because they did use it in a creative way where it's like she constantly tests it and it's the same shot, but again, they keep going like the Glasses Girl is constantly like, bunny, look at the rabbit. Because they keep technically catching a rabbit because she's wearing the rabbit underwear.
Yeah. It's... show you're making it hard to fight for you.
But yeah, it's good.
I like this show. It's a lot of fun. I recommend it.
And it's nice to have a short one.
Yeah, it's 15 minutes. And I like the OP. I like the OP.
I like the ending too, where it's like they're all sitting, like it's like the like storybook versions of them like just sitting at camp.
Just hanging out.
Yeah. I like the OP and I like the ED. And it's a 15-minute show, and that takes up like at least like a 1/3 of it. So you know what? That's good.
Yeah, it's good shit.
Kind of like. Meanwhile,
back at the ship,
they land on a new planet, and it's time for them to get more food there.
As is the deal.
And the planet's very, like, mossy. Like, he jumps and he's like, whoa, the gravity's lighter here. And Kanata jumps and he starts sinking into the ground.
And they're like, great, that's awesome. Just jump.
And the first thing when they got on the planet, they land Kitori or Katsuri? Quetori?
Oh, Kittery.
Kittery's taking a shower, and Zach immediately walks in, and she's thinking, like, I know, I understand your feelings, but, like, this really isn't the time. And he's like, sorry, I forgot to knock. And he just walks over and just starts washing his face with, like, no reaction whatsoever.
Just, oh, sorry, I didn't know you were in here. Zach, I like it. I like it a lot.
Yeah.
I feel like Kittery wants there to be that type of thing, but Zach is just stone-faced.
Yeah. And they end up going out to forage, and Shars?
Yeah.
Shars ends up super excited because they end up finding a bunch of dead animals. Because he's like, maybe we'll find some carnivores because these are herbivores and we can get some real meat.
As soon as he fucking said that, I predicted how the episode was going to end.
I was like, there's something that's killing stuff on this planet.
It's not an aminal. It's the plants.
But yeah, so they collect a bunch of food. They find these plants that basically taste like candy. Kanato's group, and they're all like super excited. And they end up... They take a bunch of it back, and it turns out it rots really fast. Like, it can't be preserved. So they find that most of the plants they take aren't even usable.
Yeah, there's only a very, very select few number of plants.
Oh, and Chars's group finds chocobos.
Yeah, they're chocobos, and they feed them, and the chocobos are friendly.
And they get to ride them after.
Yeah. But unfortunately, you can't eat them. Either.
And they go back on the ship. Earlier in the episode, Olgarth calls Yunhua useless, and that triggers the whole, like, her mom telling her she's useless thing.
Yeah.
And then after, later in the episode, Luca's like, where they're talking about food preservations, and Luca's like, man, I bet Yunhua would definitely, like, need more or something.
Yunhua looks like she eats a lot, and I was like, dude, what the fuck?
Yeah, that's just a dick move all around.
That's just needlessly hurtful. I expect these kind of things from Olgar.
Yeah.
But not you.
And she ends up, like, just being like, I'm useless. If there's going to be a food shortage, the person who should die is me, so I'm just going to leave. And they see she left a note basically saying, hey, I'm going to leave. Don't look for me.
Yeah.
So naturally, they're like, let's go look for her.
Yep, and Kanata is like, we gotta look for her.
And they find she left her glasses, but Iris basically says, oh, those aren't like, prescription glasses. Those are just for fashion.
They're just fashion.
And Kanata is the only one that finds her, and she doesn't want Kanata to come near her, so they decide to talk through their communicators.
Yeah, their helmet comms.
Whereas everyone else is just kind of running around looking for them.
Because there's a very surprising, like, lack of caution amongst these people. Like, oh, the air is breathable. All right, guess it's time to take my helmet off.
Yeah, even though that orb could show up at any moment.
Exactly. And that does have plot relevance.
Yeah, so they're talking, and she's like, I'm worthless, I'm useless, you guys don't need me and stuff. And he's like, hey, that's all bullshit.
Here's some more anime pep talks for you.
Yeah, so he gives her a really, like, good pep talk about how she's important and that they need her. They need her for the crew. And then because he's like, see, Irisu noticed that you wore those glasses but didn't need them. You wore them to keep your bangs out of your face, and you have long bangs because you tried to hide your face.
Yeah, he Sherlock Holmes is this bitch.
And while this is happening, all of a sudden the plants open up and start shooting out spores, all the trees around, and I'm like, yeah, that's what I expected.
Yeah,
it's a fungus planet. And then Chars is actually the one that's like, fuck, it's the mushrooms that rule the planet.
Yeah, at first everyone's like, oh, I wonder what's going on,
and everyone starts dropping around them, and Chars is like, oh no. And he takes charge of this episode because he's the one that calls Kanata, and he's like, listen, keep your helmet on, get back to my location immediately.
I like how the characters matter. Like, everyone matters in their own way.
Yeah.
Because he calls Kanata. Kanata goes and gathers everybody with Yunhua, and they take him back to the ship.
And yeah, I like how he even says to like Kittery too, like she's like, I don't know what to do. He's like, Kittery, figure it out. You're our doctor.
Yeah, you're the only doctor on this ship. And she's like, shit, you're right. Let's do it.
Yeah, because he basically is just, she's like, I don't know what to. She's like, I don't know what we should do. He's like, well, you're the person here best equipped to do this, so just do it.
What a shitty, like, real scary situation.
And she realizes too, she's like, you're right, I am the only person equipped to do this, so I guess I gotta do just my best.
Hey, we're stranded on this this unknown planet with no help. You are the only person who can help these people.
With even you're the only person with even a slight hint of medical knowledge.
So you're up, kid. So she tries to make everybody comfortable. She assesses the symptoms of the poisoning.
And Yunhua was actually the one that figured out the cure because Shars kind of puts it together, but while they were outside, they noticed one of the chocobos was sick, and Yunhua fed it a specific plant that made it better. And then they explained this to Chars, and he's like, wait, that's how the plants do it, or that's how they don't kill all the animals.
There are antidote flowers.
Yeah, so all the ones that eat the antidote live, the ones that don't die. So Kanata rushes out to go get them.
And it's a race against the clock.
Yeah, because everyone's getting sick there, and Yunhua doesn't really know what she can do to sort of help out. So, because even Kittery starts getting sick.
Yep.
And so she just starts singing.
We learn that that's her thing.
That was her dream, to be a singer, but her mom was like, you're no good. Because she got, like, the lead role in a play once, and her mom was like, no, you'll just, like, cause trouble for everyone. Which is, like, a really just fucked up thing.
Yeah, her mom is fucked.
Yeah.
She is even like, don't worry, I'll talk to the teacher to fix this. And Yunhua
like, don't worry, I'm doing you a favor.
Yeah. And Yunhua ends up acting as basically running a spotlight.
Yeah, which is like the biggest downgrade you can get.
Yeah.
You're just crew at that point. And she ends up singing and actually helps everyone feel a little bit better. And Kanata, for some reason, decides the only way he can find the plant is by taking off his helmet.
Well, he's digging through the carcass pile, and he just can't find him, and he's like, what the fuck? And he kind of decides, like, oh, the flowers must only bloom when there are sick creatures around.
Yeah.
And he's right, which is like the dumbest risk I've ever heard anyone take ever.
Yeah.
Because what if it was just fucking wrong?
What if it just wasn't at that tree?
Exactly.
Yeah, so that was a real gamble. But it paid off, and they get back, and everyone's saved, and he's all tired, but he looks super happy because he helped everyone. And Yunhua seems happy because, she got to sing in front of everybody.
Yeah. She's getting her character shit out of the way.
And this episode has alleviated my thoughts that she is the traitor.
Yep.
I don't
She
think...
just has low self-esteem.
Yeah.
She just has a shitty childhood.
Yeah.
Oh, this show is such a compelling space opera.
It's a good show. This was a cool planet. It was Killer Fungus Planet.
Yeah.
Which any planet I would go to, I would never take off my thing.
No.
Just because fungus is dangerous. Even the
Yeah.
first planet, I would be like, there's crazy mushrooms here.
Exactly. You don't know what kind of shit lives on this planet.
Mushrooms are bad news. Microscopic, like, things we can't even see.
Mushrooms on our planet are bad news enough.
And now, like, a alien planet with flying dinosaurs.
Yeah, no thanks.
Yeah, or chocobos.
Yeah.
But yeah, every week, it's been extremely entertaining.
Knocks it out of the freaking park. I love all the characters. They're all very distinct and serve their own unique purposes.
Yeah.
It's just good shit.
If you're not watching anything, watch Astra Lost in Space.
Oui.
We saved the best for last for a reason.
Yes, we do. And if you want
So you can either watch the rest so you have to watch the rest of it, or you just skip to the end if you're only watching that show.
Yeah, or just skip to the end. But you know what? I think that still counts.
That still counts.
So, if you would like to continue hearing about Astra Lost in Space or any of the other great/fine shows we watch, feel free to subscribe to our YouTube channel and drop this video a like if you did like it.
And ring that bell.
And ring that bell. Make sure you get notifications because the YouTube algorithm is fucked.
Yeah, and if you like us, you can follow us on social media like Twitter at Protagonist Seat.
Or Facebook, which is also the Protagonist Seat.
Yeah, I Googled it and couldn't find it.
Really?
Yeah.
Shit. I gotta figure that shit out.
But our Twitter, at Protagonist Seat, that one's there. That one's easy to find.
Probably because they won't let us get a custom URL yet. Email Facebook and tell us.
That's a thing on Facebook?
It is, actually.
Oh.
It's bullshit.
Yeah, because I was going to link it, but I'm like, I can't find it to link it.
Maybe if you liked the page.
I know where it is. I just
like our Facebook page.
We got the Twitter. People use Twitter.
Yeah.
Donald Trump uses Twitter, and he's president.
No comment. But yeah, like our shit. Follow us on shit. Stop by next week. We'll keep talking about shows.
We'll talk about more shit. It's all shit here.
It's all shit.
It's all shit all the time.
Bye.
See you next time.